Hi guys, Jasvina here again, and it's time for another book video review. So this time I'm going to review The Smarter Screen, Surprising Ways to Influence and Improve Online Behavior by Schlomo Benartzi with Jonah Lehrer. So I'm not sure if I got the names right, but anyway, this is the book, and as you can see, the book cover is very simple. It's white background against dark gray and also blue font, and I think it is very sleek, very professionally done. And because it looks classy, it looks simple, right? I think that it gives an impression that it's a very high quality book, right? So it gives a very expensive kind of a feel when you look at that book. So maybe it's because white, I'm not sure. So as you all know, I'm gonna review this book like many other book video reviews that I've done before. My reviews are going to be based on three aspects, which are the internal layout of the book. I don't judge a book by its cover. So the internal layout of the book, how easy it is to actually flip through the pages, is the font big enough, and the spacing of the line spacing, from one line to another. So in general, how easy it is or how comfortable it is to read, right? So that's one thing. And the next one is actually the plot development, how the chapter actually progresses from one to another, how easy is it to follow through, and also last but not least is the key takeaway message. So what are the important key takeaway message that you get from this nonfiction book? Because since I review nonfiction books, and I think most nonfiction readers are looking to take away some messages from any nonfiction books that they are reading, right? So the internal layout is 10 out of 10 because as you can see over here, it's so easy to flip through the pages. The spacing is good. It's not too cramped up, like you have like about at least 1 inch of gap at the sides. So it's really in the middle, and it's very easy to read, like hold and read. I can just hold like this using one hand, and I can just flip through the pages. It's so easy to read, and it's 10 out of 10. And the plot development, okay, we have 8 chapters over here in this book, and what's impressive is that at the end of each chapter, the author summarizes the chapter. So you get a chance or an opportunity to recap the whole chapter, right? So that is something really impressive, because I think it helps you to just flip through the final pages of each chapter if you would just want to refresh, and you would be able to recall what you have read. And the plot development, under each chapters, the author has actually divided each chapter into a few sub-chapters, and I think although the sub-chapters are, it may look like, it's not connected between one sub-chapter to another sub-chapter, you can actually even read it on its own. Like, you don't really have to start from page 1 of each chapter to really understand what he's trying to say. But as a whole, I think he has clearly planned his book, and it's a very well thought out book in terms of the writing, I guess. And so I like how the chapter actually progresses from one to another, and it's not like any other typical fiction books where you have to follow through. It's not a story. So but nevertheless, it is very well written, and also presented. So 10 out of 10 for that. And key takeaway message. Now this is the part that I think that's very impressive about this book, because this book has a lot of researchers involved. Like, you know, it has at least like 120 citations that you can see at the end of this book. So if you are into research based books, like, you know, if you would want to read more about a subject, but you don't want to go and read so many research papers out there, just to get the whole idea of the subject, right? So you will be very impressed with this book, because I am totally impressed with this book, because I'm as a non-fiction reader and also someone who is into entrepreneurship and also digital marketing. I think this book really helps me a lot to understand new things about how the online behavior and how people actually you know, digest information. So one of the things that really impressed me is the fact that you should make use of this fluency in order to capture the attention, in order to get the attention of readers. Like use difficult fonts, not too difficult fonts, but just nice. Used instead of 0.12 times Roman, maybe use 8 times Roman, right? So what the author is trying to say is that, based on research, when you make the difficulties of reading a little bit higher, readers will be giving more attention to try to read what you're trying to say, right? Like to try to read a text that is a little bit difficult, right? So in that case, at that particular moment, the whole message is being registered in their mind, like, you know, you're getting their attention. So that's one of the arts that you probably can use if you are trying to market something, or probably if you're trying to, you know, market a product or anything like that. Apart from that, things like website design, and you only have like 50 milliseconds to improve you know, get the attention of your readers, or those who are actually browsing your website, right? So you only have 50 milliseconds to impress them. So the author actually suggests us to show your website to your potential audience, you know, just screen it for 50 milliseconds and try to get their feedback, like, you know, what is the first impression. So things like that, like, you know, they even have like short worksheets, very short worksheets, which is very interesting, and I actually tried it out personally, and I think it's really useful in terms of not just reading the theory, but putting it into the practical applications of it. So the kind of like worksheets, and then, you know, at some point of time you will be directed to a web page where you can see things for yourself and, like, you know, play some sort of a game to see what the author is trying to say. So it's more like a psychology aspect of browsing, online browsing, or probably online behavior, right? So this book actually gave me an opportunity to understand more about online behaviors and how you can make use of that, or probably manipulate that in a good way to send your message across to the masses out there. So apart from that, the author has also, like, you know, introduced some of the things that he's involved in with, like, you know, the organizations that he work with and stuff like that. But it's just not to sell anything, but he just shares his experience. So that I think that part is okay. And so for that reason, I think I'm giving the key takeaway message probably 9 over 10. So with that, we have 28 score out of 30, and that makes the book rating 9.3 in total out of 10, right? So yeah, I think I had a very good time reading this book, and I'm totally recommending this book to anyone who is interested to read kind of like research based books. So yeah, so until next time with another book video review, signing off is Jasvina. See you again.